What's up everyone? In this video I'm going to show you how to use files, so both input and output with files from a Python program. So this is another super important video. Files give us the ability to permanently store data. So far we've written programs where all the data is held within the program. But if we were to terminate the program, the next time we run the program, we would have no data from that previous run. So to be able to store data, kind of like permanence, we would use files. So I have a repo set up here. So I'm going to go ahead and do the clone and then open this up with our VS Code, and then we can get cracking here. So we'll do files, open, here's our repo, so new file, files.py. And just to make sure we're all hooked up, print hello world and terminal, new terminal, python 3 files.py. And there we go. Alright, so let's talk about files in Python. So there's really three main operations. There's write, there's append, and there's read. So these are the three main operations. So let me show you how we're going to write to a file. So the way that we do this, we'd say f equals open, and then this is the file name. So in this case, we don't have a file already existing in our repo, so I'm going to create a new one. So I'm going to call this example underscore file.txt. Then we specify the mode, which in this case is W for write. So we'll use different modes depending on what kind of action you want to perform to the file. So let me go ahead and just do f.write, and then this is the data that we want to store. So for example, this is an example string. And now if I run this program, what should happen is a file is going to get created in the repo, and this data right here, this string, should get stored into that file. So if I run the program, you'll see that a txt file with the name that I specified is here, and the data, the string that I wanted to store, is right here. Just another real quick little note, to do a new line, if that is something that you want to do, it's \n is the special character to do a new line. So like in this case, this would print, this is an example string, and then on a separate line, this is a new line. So \n is its own special character for a new line. And also, so when we do a write operation right here, this is going to overwrite this file. If it doesn't exist, it'll create the file, and if there's any data inside this file, it's going to get overwritten. So if I rerun this program right now, everything in example file will be overwritten, and then this data right here will get stored into the file. So let me go ahead and run this and show you what I mean. So you see, we didn't append to it. We didn't add to that existing data that was already in the file. We overwrote it with the new data that we specified in this program. Okay, and then that brings us to the next mode, which is append. So, oh wait, let me, so right here, you also do want to get in the habit of closing your file. So treat f like your file, right? F kind of works as the handler of the file. So we open the file, we also want to close it, so then if another program wants to access that file, it's not already open in this program. And I've even run into issues where within the same program, I'm trying to access the file again, but a different file handler already had it open, and that causes issues. So get in the habit, when you're done with the file operation, close the file handler. So now let's talk about append. So let's do a different one. Let's call this one f underscore 2. No, let's call this f underscore append. And that equals open, and let's open a new file. So example append file.txt. And this mode is A, so we're appending to the file. So in this case, if I did f underscore append dot write, now this is going to, it'll create this file, and the text will never get overwritten. So let me show you what I mean here. So this is an example string right here, and then I'll do the \n. So if I run this right now, it should create the new file here, and it should have this string in it. And that's what we have. And then if I run this again, it shouldn't overwrite. It should actually just print that string to the file again, like this. So if I ran this, 5 times, I should see this is an example string printed to this file 5 times, because we're not overwriting, we're just appending. We're adding to the existing data, whatever data is within our write. So now we want to close this object. Let's not forget to close the file handler, like so. Alright, and then the last operation that we need to talk about is reading. So let's open up a new file handler, f underscore read, open. And we can open one of these 2 files. So let's open example underscore file.txt, and our mode is R for read. So then we do f underscore read dot read, and this is just going to read all of the contents of this file. But we actually need to store this into a variable. Well, actually, we could just print it. Let's just do that. Let's just print the contents of, that's just this right here. This is just going to print the contents of example file.txt. So let's go ahead and run this, and we'll see that it did print the contents of example file. You can double check it by looking at the file, and that's exactly what's printed in our console. So let's do it on the append file, and we should see, I don't know at this point, maybe 4 or 5. So we're going to be appending to this one more time, so we should see 4 times that this is an example string gets printed to our terminal here. So if I put append underscore file, and we should see 4, this is an example strings. And you can always double check that that is indeed the contents of our file. So files are extremely useful, right? Because now we have the opportunity to store data with permanence. It's not just however long the program's running, we can store data. We can actually store data, let the program end, and then when we come back to it, we can pick up where we left off. So that's a really, really useful tool. So let me give you an example, because it can be kind of hard to understand, like, why would you want to do this? Like, what really is the use in this? So if we do, in the previous example, in previous video, I had used fruit. So let me actually just go ahead and copy that code over, and then we'll start there. So 1 second. Alright, so I pulled this code from my arrays video. So I have an array, a fruit array with some options to choose from, and a menu for the user to select the fruit that they want. And then if they choose 5, it'll exit this loop. So let's add a little bit of permanence here by using files. So let's store the user's input selection. So let's say f equals open, and then name the file. So let's name this file fruit underscore selection.txt, and I'm going to use the append mode. So it just continuously appends to the file whatever the user selected. So then f dot write, and we want to write the selection. So that's the fruit user input -1, and then add a \n, so it's always printed on a new line. And then don't forget to close your file handler. So right now, if I run this program, we should create a fruit selection.txt file, and it should be printing to it whatever the user's fruit selection was. So let me go ahead and run this. So if I choose oranges right now, you'll see that a new file is made, fruit selection.txt, and inside oranges gets printed to it. And let me choose bananas, and then apples, and then blueberries. So it should get that in the exact same order that I selected those. So it went oranges, bananas, apples, blueberries. So that's working. And then let's say that we wanted to add an option to our menu. Let's say print 6. Let's say previous selections. So if we enter 6, we'll read from the file and print all of the contents back to the user. So let's say if the user input is 6, then we're going to print I'm sorry, we need to open the file again. So f.open fruit underscore selection .txt, and we're using the read mode. Then we're gonna print the f.read, and then don't forget to close the file handler. So now, if the user wanted to see what their previous selections were, they could press 6, and they would see, oh, we got a traceback error. F is not defined. Oopsies. This should be f equals open. That's my fault. So if we do that, run this again and press 6, we'll see that it prints the previous selections straight from this file, right? And now if I just want to exit this, so we can now run this program, right? And let's say that I want to add oranges, add apples, and then I want to see everything that I've selected. I can do that now. So we have data permanence through the use of the files here. And one more small thing, another small operation that might be smart to add. Let's say that the user wanted to clear the previous selections. So clear previous selections if they choose 7. So if user input equals 7, we'll do f equals open fruit underscore selection .txt, open it in write mode. And then all we have to do, just do f.write and just a blank string like that, and then close your file handler like that. So now, if we run this program, right? So 6 is going to print the previous selections like that. But let's say I want to clear it. So if I clear it by pressing 7, and now if I choose 6, they should return just a blank string, which is what it does. So now if I wanted to basically redo my selections, so let's say I wanted apples, then bananas, then oranges, I can do that, and then I can press 6 and I'll see apples, bananas, oranges. Alright, and at this point this program is functioning how I want it to. We use all 3 operations here, the main ones, so append, read, and write. So I'm going to go ahead and push this back up to GitHub. So just do the git add dot, git commit -m, examples of file usage, that's my commit message, and push it back up to GitHub. I always want to take the time to say thank you. This was kind of a lengthy video, but it covered a lot of content, and it's really important. This is the foundational stuff. These are the building blocks. And it's like, as you perfect the building blocks, then you can move to that more complicated code, and you'll really understand what you're doing. If you don't start with the building blocks, then you're kind of just copying code from wherever, and you don't really understand what's going on. So I understand this is kind of a lengthy video. Hopefully it didn't bore you too much. But I do want to say thanks for watching. I will put the link to the GitHub repo shown in this video, and also a link to my Discord server if you have questions, comments, want to get in contact with me or other Python developers. It's a great resource to you. And once again, thanks for watching.